Happy Saturday, folks, and welcome back to Injection of Inspiration, where every single Saturday I, Graham G.S. Matthews, inject you with your daily dose of motivational advice, helpful tips, and all that other great positive shit. So for today's episode, I got two quotes for you. Too bad! Just kidding. Two awesome quotes. First one being, ends are not bad things. They just mean that something else is about to begin. Now, first of all, don't ask me where this came from. I will probably throw up a picture of that quote for the thumbnail of this video. I'm doing that after I record this. So I don't know who said it. I literally have a document on my computer of 8 pages worth of inspirational quotes that I've gathered from over the years. And it's great. So that's where I pull these from. And each one of them means something to me. But anyway, the quote once again. Ends are not bad things. They just mean that something else is about to begin. Second quote. Usually I do only one, but I have a second one here today because it's kind of the same thing. It kind of relates to what I'll be talking about today. Life is a novel filled with suspense. You have no idea what is going to happen until you turn the page. Now, I'm a huge ass mark. I'm a huge ass fan of quotes, inspirational quotes having to do with books. Considering I'm a writer, that's kind of my deal. So I love that second quote, but both quotes are very, very good in their own right. Basically, what they're saying is that the end of one chapter of your life is just that, a chapter. It's not the end of the book. And even after you die, I'm not going to even say that your book ends when you die. Things will still be written in that book, this proverbial book, well after you're gone. Your legacy will live on in one way or another. Things never really truly end. They are just reborn into something else. Beginnings are always amazing opportunities to start over. So take it as just that, an opportunity to start over, start from scratch. If you didn't like the way you did something before, you have an all new opportunity, another chance to redeem yourself and do it the right way this time around. Some people don't get those opportunities all that often. Take advantage of those opportunities. Now, I said something similar to that a few weeks back here on Injection of Inspiration for another installment, more along the lines of opportunities. But this more has to do with ends and beginnings. The ends of certain chapters in your life, some will be more bittersweet, some will be amazing, some will be depressing. When it comes to the end of relationships, the end of your tenure at college, the end of your tenure at high school, two very different things for me. And I've talked about it before. I talked about it when I graduated 2-3 months ago in regards to I could not have been happier when I graduated high school. I fucking hated high school, but not that I bawled out in tears and shit. I bawled my eyes out when I graduated college. I was pretty sad because I love college a lot, but it's not like my life ended there. There's still plenty more to come. I am merely just getting started with my life. Now that college and my entire, most of my school life, my academic life is over. I might be going to get my master's. That's another story. But when it comes to high school and college, that's behind me. It's time to move on. So never look at the end of a certain chapter of your life as the end all be all. Because if you make it the end and you keep on focusing on the past and living in the past, you'll be too blind to see what's in front of you, to see what the future holds, to embrace the right now, to enjoy the moment, to live in the today and the tomorrow and not the yesterday. Again, I love these two quotes a lot. I love these quotes a lot. Ends are not bad things. They just mean that something else is about to begin. So just because that relationship ended that you, I don't know, with that guy or girl that you loved a lot, doesn't mean you'll never meet anyone else. You always can. Now you're free to do whatever you want. I could go on for hours about being single or being in a relationship and stuff like that. I was single for a long ass time before I finally found someone that I enjoy being with. Being single is not a bad thing, and I've talked about that a million times before. I can preach to the choir about that one, trust me. But just because that relationship ended doesn't mean your world is over. Again, you can continue to do whatever the hell you want, the way that you want, up until the day you die. And even though you're not controlling what your actual body does, regardless of what your thoughts in the afterlife are, your legacy is still living on. It's still being written well after you're gone from this earth, regardless of where you go after you die. Again, that's another discussion for another day that I won't get into because that's religious talk and it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about here today. And again, I love the fact, I love ends and I love beginnings. Not only of books, because more books are being written. You know, your book today may have been written, that's in the past, but You're writing a new book right now, and you decide what's being written. You decide what your future holds. That's the amazing thing. Some people do not have that luxury. But likely, if you're listening to this, you have that ability to write your own future. So make it a good one. That amazing quote from Doc Brown from the end of Back to the Future Part 3, my least favorite of the 3 movies, but still an amazing quote from an amazing character, from an amazing guy. Played by Christopher Lloyd, playing Emmett Brown in the Back to the Future series. Love the quote, your future has not been written yet, so make it a good one. I say that to everyone, because it's true. Don't feel like your future is set in stone. Some things you do now will dictate what happens tomorrow. That is true. Whatever you do now won't change what happened yesterday. That's in the past. So move on. Look to the future and look what you can do to make a better today, make today a better tomorrow. Always think about that. Always focus on that. And the cool thing also that has to do with ends and beginnings and stuff like that, like I talked about earlier, the second quote, life is like a novel filled with suspense. You don't know what's going to happen next. How many times have I talked about that? I mean, your day today could be shit. It could be great. But the cool thing is that you don't know. A lot of people take, pride in the fact of that uncertainty. I certainly do. Don't think it's a bad thing that you don't know what tomorrow holds. You might have some things planned. I might hang out with Jason today. I might go for a walk. I might have to work. I might work on this. I might do that. But other than that, I don't know what happens in between. I might not even know what happens when I do those things. We might do something I didn't expect. I might do something at work. I might encounter someone. I didn't plan on seeing that today. I might run into John fucking Cena at work tomorrow. Odds are I probably never will, but you never know what might happen. That's the cool thing. I might walk into someone at work I didn't really necessarily want to see. Someone I went to high school with. Again, very unlikely because I don't even work anywhere near I went to high school, but you never possibly know. And the cool thing is that you never know what's going to happen. That suspense, some people, I feel like it's a love-hate relationship. Either people love the fact they don't know what's going to happen next in their lives, or they hate the fact they don't know what's going to happen next. There's really no in-between there. But you won't know until you turn the page. You won't know until you live to see tomorrow. So focus on the right now, look to tomorrow, enjoy the moment. I've said that a million times here on the show. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the end, tomorrow might have marked the end of one thing. Let's say the most amazing weekend in your life just came to an end. Wow, that was cool. You're going to talk about it for a long ass time. You'll never forget it. But it's time to move on. Not saying it's a bad thing to discuss what happened in the past. It's best to learn from it so you can live in the moment and learn for the future. That's what I've always said. But what I'm trying to get at here is that you should not be depressed that, the greatest weekend of my life is over. The greatest summer of my life is over. Time for the fall, which is going to suck. You know what? It's going to suck if your fucking mindset sucks. Keep that in mind. Your todays, your tomorrows are only as good as you make them. So why not make them great? Why make them anything else but great? And of course, circumstances will get in the way, that this will happen, that'll happen. This will prevent you from having the greatest day possible. But you know what? Learn from that to make tomorrow even better. And I've talked about that a million times. I don't want to repeat myself from past installments of Injection of Inspiration. But what I'm trying to tell you is that just because something ended, just because your favorite show ended, doesn't mean you can't move on and find something else you enjoy, or find something else you enjoy even more. That's the beauty of life. You never really know for a fact, and anything can happen. Expect the unexpected, enjoy the moment, love today, live today for a better tomorrow. The beginnings are another opportunity for you to start over. Start anew, man. Learn from the past. That end might have marked the end of the most amazing time in your life, or the most depressing, the worst time in your life. But the beginning, we all start equally. We all start at zero. It's up to you now to figure out how great you're going to make this next chapter of your life. Is it going to be a long chapter? Is it going to be a short chapter? Is it going to be a good one? Is it going to be a bad one? That's all going to be dependent on you and nobody else. Things will happen along the way, but it's how you react to those events that will dictate how good this chapter is. Is it a compelling one? Is it a boring one? Is it a transitional period? Or is it the greatest period of your fucking life? Figure that out. Keep on writing. Never stop writing, because your book will be written well after you're gone. Make your legacy a good one. Make today a good day to live for you in this world. That's all I got, guys, for today's injection of inspiration. Thank you for checking out the show. As always, be sure to like the video, drop a comment with your thoughts on it, share the video, and of course, subscribe to the channel for new daily content right here from the Graham GSM Matthews brand, man. And of course, thank you for your support of the show and the channel. It means the world to me. Stay awesome, guys. A new episode of Injection of Inspiration coming your way next Saturday. Until then, I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.